going to talk. This is a day in the life of the goddess and the raw food trucker. So we're just chatting right now. How many of these things do you drink in a day?
Either 2 or 3. So that would be
2 or 3 of these jars.
Yes.
And this jar is 3 times
3 servings.
Wow.
So that's 6 to 9 servings.
Wow. Okay.
And you can have up to 12, which is a whole gallon.
Oh, okay. Right on. Right on. I would be drinking a gallon a day. Just because I know my body. Wonder why you have to have the molasses or the maple syrup. There must be something in that detox thing.
It is. It's the minerals.
Oh, it is?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Got it. Got it. The cayenne pepper is incredible for the cardiovascular system, your entire body, your circulatory system. It actually, I'm told, it actually thins the blood a little bit. Amazing stuff with cayenne pepper. Amazing stuff. I mean, if you ever get a chance, read Dick Quinn's book, Left for Dead. It's really quite something.
Okay.
Good book. Good
Neat.
book. Yeah.
And what's it about?
It's about how he felt the medical system left him for dead. He was having all kinds of major heart problems. He ran into somebody that was telling him that cayenne pepper would take care of it. And as soon as he started taking cayenne pepper, his entire heart system healed up in like 6 to 8 months. It was just amazing. He wrote a book about it. He started the cayenne pepper company from it. And that's where I get those wild crafted kind. I ordered those specifically because they're wild crafted, dried on rocks, sent over from East Africa. That's why I ordered those.
Oh, that's wonderful.
They're a little more pricey, but still, I'd much rather have the ones with living enzymes in them.
Yeah.
I believe so deeply in enzyme therapy and what's going on with the enzymes and how it affects the body. I mean, it's just, once we start cooking our food and killing those enzymes, our body has to create the enzymes then to digest the food, and our bodies work so much harder, and it really is a taxing system on our body. Your cat's tail is over there just way. All I see is his tail of his cat. It's so cute.
He's looking at birds.
Is that what?
Out the window.
Yeah. There's all birds out the window. Yeah, he's wanting to chow down on a bird. They're pretty birds. Don't let them do that. Yeah.
So is the website in the book? Or what's the website to find these?
Cayenne. Somebody else, his family sold it because he died. Dick Quinn died. He got quite a life extension from that. He lived for many, many years. I tell this to everybody in my talks. You know, if I drop dead tomorrow, it's not from the draw of foods, okay? I got a life extension for the last 8 years. I was supposed to die 8 years ago, and I'm alive today. Sit next to this beautiful human being and enjoy her presence. And this is good. And if I die tomorrow, I got 8 years life extension. If I die 5 more years from now, I got 13 years life extension. That's how I look at all this. And it's just so amazing and so incredible. What's really amazing and incredible is that a snowstorm had to lock me in and shut me down here, and I get to hang out with her.
I know.
Yeah. We are both feeling so blessed right now. It's incredible.
Yes, very, very.
This little thing is Edel's Oil. This chef at Aulox in Orange County, he makes these wild-crafted oils. And so I shared some of it with Kimmy earlier. I call her Kimmy. I shared some of it with Kimmy earlier. But it really is a sacred oil, and it's amazing when you did that. Did you not? I'm not going to say what my intention was on the camera, but you did it, and you made an intention, and it still smells really good.
Yes,
it's amazing.
What he did was put some right here,
yeah,
and rubbed it together, and 3 times.
Yeah,
and think of the intention.
Edo says to do. You think of the intention you're trying to set for.
And do it three times. And it smells so good.
It does.
Edo.
Yes, Edo.
Okay.
Chef Edo. ITO. Little dude. Took a vow of silence for 1 year, 14 years ago, and never spoke a word since.
Good night.
I consider him I truly consider this guy a close friend, a good friend.
And he communicates through writing?
No, he doesn't do sign language, but he communicates. It's really amazing. I'll give you a couple of examples. So Tracy Young and I were down at Aulox one day, and I get this all the time. People come over to me, oh my God, you're Dave the Raw Food Trucker and all this and that. So this gal comes over and she says, I'm like, yeah, okay, I'm Dave. Greetings, how are you? She goes, so where do you stand on cacao? So I tell her, I try to never stand on cacao because that would destroy it. I love cacao and I want to eat it. So she starts going on and on and on about these toxins and all this stuff. I'm just going to share this with you. I mean, this is going to be so cool. You can cut this up into 20 different videos. And it's just us talking, having a good time. Yeah. But after I got out of the hospital from a heart attack and stroke, and I was paralyzed on 93 to 97% of the right side of my body during this time, I got out of the hospital, and David Wolf got a hold of me, and he was saying, hey, dude, you need to eat some raw chocolate. And everybody, obviously the doctors were saying don't do it. But I'm just telling you, I talked to 7 of the major raw food leaders in the world, and they were all like, don't eat the raw chocolate. David's crazy. You know, they weren't saying David's crazy, but they were just saying, do not eat the raw chocolate. So Carolyn Marie Sultan shows up at All Ox, where we're seeing Chef eat them. It took 3 or 4 people to actually help me sit down. I mean, I was really bad off. Because the first day I got out of the hospital, guess where I ended up? A raw food restaurant.
Oh,
right?
Perfect.
You know, that's where I'm going to eat because it's the raw foods. I really firmly believe this. It is the most healing diet to the human species on the planet, bar none. If you have a disease, if you have something wrong with you, stop cooking your food and start juicing and getting the phytonutrients, antioxidants, beta-carotenes, the vitamins, the minerals, everything that comes from the sun and is photosynthesized into a plant and start flooding your body with it, man. It does incredibly amazing things. Yeah. So anyway, Carol Marie Sultan shows up, a good friend of mine, and she goes, David got this chocolate for you. You got to have it. It's Sacred Hearts chocolate. So I hadn't eaten anything else yet and hadn't ordered our dinner. I could barely eat it as it was. And so I ate 4 ounces of this chocolate, this raw chocolate. And man, within 20 to 30 minutes, now when I had the heart attack, it was like a 200-pound anvil on my chest. When I got out of the hospital, it was like a 50-pound anvil on my chest. But I could not take a deep breath. I couldn't. And have a giant inhalation of breath go through my lungs. And within 20 to 30 minutes after eating that chocolate, I took my first deep breath in 11 days.
Wow.
Because I was in the ICU unit for 10, and that was day 11. And I couldn't believe it. I mean, it's just like you have no idea when you can't breathe and can't take a deep breath how much it means to you to be able to take a deep breath. It was just amazing. I just couldn't believe it. I mean, I had to get a hold of Avocado right away. I was like, dude, man, you know, what is going on with this? He goes, oh, there's a toxin, it's an aflatoxin. I didn't say it was an aflatoxin. He said it was something else, but it's theobromide. And it's not necessarily the greatest thing for you, but it has a side effect. And he knew that. And here's the side effect. It opens up the capillaries in your blood system. So all in my cardiovascular system, everywhere my capillaries are opening up. And as a result, I could take a huge, deep breath. And I now eat, you can ask Kimmy this, I eat 4 to 8 ounces of raw chocolate every single day. Why? Because it's a rough life being a raw fooder, and somebody's got to live it. It might as well be meat. Yeah. But I actually eat it for heart health. I really do.
Wow.
Yeah, and so
I am not going to feel bad about having bought that big 5-pound thing of raw cacao.
No, don't feel bad. Eat it up and enjoy. Yeah. You should be. Yeah, and I hear a rumor that it helps enhance the sex drive. Not that there's anything going on here, but I'm just trying. Okay. You can cut that out if you want. I'm just playing.
Actually, I don't know how to edit enough to
cut it out. Okay, well, good. Then y'all are going to see me playing around with Kimmy a little bit. It's all good.
Yeah.
It's all good. She knows my heart. I know her heart. I'll just keep hitting up on her until I die. Okay.
And what a compliment that is.
Hey, all right. So, anyway, molasses, lemonade. It tastes like...
Yeah, this semester tastes like lemonade.
Yeah, you really do want to use maple if you can, but if you're diabetic, stick with the molasses. But man, hers tastes 10 times better than mine.
And you can use a tablespoon per serving. He's drinking 3 servings in a jar and only 1 tablespoon of molasses.
Yeah, because I'm concerned about... I haven't had any molasses in years. I'm just concerned about my blood sugars.
And I should show them. Should I show them now or another time? The smoothie we made earlier?
Oh my God, yes.
Yeah.
Holy smokes. Plus, you've got another whole clip on it, too. Okay, cool.
No, I just took some pictures. I didn't take a video.
Took photos.
Yeah,
okay,
I'll
I
be
thought you
right
did
back.
a video, right?
No.
Man, this goddess made me... I am drinking this smoothie all day long, and she's got sauerkraut, raw sauerkraut. I'm like in heaven, man. I really, seriously, I get snowed in, and I'm here at a goddess's house, and she's just making me all these raw food smoothies and berries and low glycemic stuff I can eat and drink.
Here's
and
one
this
of them.
has cacao in it,
the
folks.
whole Vitamix full.
Tell them what's in that.
So we put about...
She put, right on.
2.5 or 3 bananas. Maybe 2.5 bananas.
Yeah, this thing's huge, though.
Yeah, it's huge.
When I say it's low glycemic, because it made a full Vitamixer plus a little bit extra.
And about a cup of blueberries, about a cup of blackberries, some lucuma powder.
Oh, yeah.
About a 1/4 cup or so of raw cacao powder.
Yep. And some flaxseed.
Flaxseed.
Yep.
Ground flax.
I'm almost going to drink here.
Some...
what was it? Oh, bee pollen.
Yeah, local
bee pollen. I can really taste it in there. It tastes really, really good. And it's not nearly as sweet as honey.
Good.
So for you diabetics, bee pollen. Mm-hmm. Boy, you are right. The longer this sits, the hotter that cayenne gets.
Yeah, mine's getting hot.
Yeah.
Very good. Oh, distilled water.
Good stuff.
Yes, it is.
Oh, yeah, she's using distilled water. I was really impressed. You know, Paul C. Bragg talks about it in his Miracle of Fasting. There's a book tip hint you want to get and read if you want to do some water fasting. Paul C. Bragg is considered the father of the health food movement. And a couple of little things, I'm not 100% sure I got my facts right here, but I believe I do. It is my understanding that Paul C. Bragg saved Jack LaLanne's life, that Jack LaLanne had some severe problems, and he came to him. Now, Paul C. Bragg was a raw fooder, even though they didn't call it raw food back then. But he was telling everybody, you know, don't cook your food and all this stuff, and he was really heavy into all this stuff. And on top of that, it's my understanding that Jay Cordage, the juice man, Jay Cordage, a good friend of mine, that Paul C. Bragg saved his life also. So it's amazing how these people connect, and then they have a life-transforming experience, right? And then they go out and help other people.
Yes.
You know, now I walked into a Giuliano's restaurant, tasted his food, and it was all over. I was a raw fooder, and I knew I could do this. So, you know, some people, they they go to a temple, or they go to a mosque or a synagogue. I walked into a fucking restaurant. Go tell. You know, but hey, it worked. I'm here. I'm alive. It's all good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How many years now since
8 years.
That's
8
amazing.
years, yeah. And the state of California came in and we're doing all these tests, and like my hand was all crumpled over like this because I was paralyzed on 93 to 97% of the right side of my body when I had this stroke. And they were like, well, the goal, she was going like this, is to be able to move your finger, and hopefully after 6 or 8 months of physical therapy, you'll be able to do that. Can everybody see what I'm doing? Did you see me come in with a walker or a cane?
No, absolutely not.
Yeah, I was told I'd be in a wheelchair, man. You know what I did? All I did was I had Teresa, she showed up the day of the heart attack and stroke, and she made raw smoothies, and she made raw juices. And that's what I did, and I stayed low glycemic. And I had to refuse. You can do this. The ramifications are pretty rough, but like I had my health insurance dropped. But I refused to eat the cooked food in the hospital. I just wasn't going to do it because I didn't want to be paralyzed for the rest of my life. And guess what? I'm not.
Yeah.
I knew what to do. I knew what to do. A lot of people come to me and they say, Dave, how could you possibly have a heart attack and stroke if you're truly raw, organic, vegan? By the way, now I'm high raw, organic, vegan. I'm not 100% anything because I won't go there with all that stuff. But here's how it happened with me. I got off of 18 of 19 prescription medications when I went raw, organic, vegan. in 6 months. But I was still on one, and it was for my heart. And to the best of my knowledge, I'm the only person that has the particular type of heart condition that I have. Anyway,
which is what?
Which is I don't go into it publicly ever, but I'll share it with you off camera. So anyway,
I was trying to get that question answered, folks.
Yeah. Just anyway, you know, it's something happened in another lifetime. You know what I'm saying? But anyway, so what happened was I didn't. It just happened naturally. Nobody told me to get off the medications. What happened was, as I was feeling all this food and all these things going into my body, I started feeling what I was putting into my body, and all of a sudden I realized I was getting sick twice a day. And I realized twice a day, guess what time? I'm taking my meds.
Yes.
Right? That's what was happening. So I just bit them in half, and then a couple months later, I bit them in half again. And I didn't even realize I was down to one until after 6 months. I walked into Walmart to see my pharmacist. I said, yeah, I want to order my heart medication. And the guy standing behind the counter, he's going,
he couldn't
oh
find
my God.
Your file.
Yeah, he was like, how did you do this? And I thought he was talking about me losing weight because at 6 months I'd lost like 150 pounds. And I was like, oh, well, I lost all this weight. But he goes, no, how did you do this?
We have another video on that story.
He's pointing to the screen, and I can't see it. I don't know what he's talking about, right? And then he goes over and gets a pharmacist, and the pharmacist looks at me and he goes, how did you do this? I just told him I lost all this weight through. No. How did you do this? And the pharmacist took a half-hour lunch break, and we sat down. And at the end of it, he goes,
because you hadn't been there in 6 months?
Because I was down off of 18 of 19 prescription medications in 6 months.
Okay.
Yeah, and so at the end of our conversation, I go, it is just amazing that your doctors took you off of them. And I was like, oh, I didn't really go to my doctors. I just felt like I was getting sick. So his whole face dropped. He was flushed. He was like, seriously, really? He was like, you have got, he didn't say seriously, really. It was just like, oh my God, you got to go see your doctors and let them know what's going on. I just didn't think anything of it because, look, I'm not an idiot, okay? I mean, granted, I have never graduated from high school. I have a 9th grade reading equivalency and an 8th grade mathematical equivalency, but I'm not an idiot. My blood pressure's coming down, so do I really want to stay on a lot of blood pressure medication? 3 to be specific, you know. My kidneys are healing up. My triglycerides are coming right. Do I really want to stay on, you know, simvastatin and some of these other statin drugs, you know?
I've read the side
my blood
effects.
sugars, my blood sugars plummeted. They just dropped at 75 to 85. You know, do I really want to be taking more Actos, metformin, and glyburide? No, I don't think I do. And I don't really need a doctor to tell me that. That's just how I looked at it. It was just, to me, it was just common sense. You know what I'm saying, Kimmy?
Yeah.
And so I was just like, silly me, right? I thought these doctors would be all excited because I figured, oh, I better tell them, right? So my heart doctor retires, and I get a new heart doctor. And as he should be, he's looking over all of his patients. He's like, this guy hasn't taken these medications in 6 months. And then he's realizing I haven't taken 18 of them, of the 19. So then he calls all my other doctors.
Yeah.
And he's freaking out.
And he's trying to report somebody for abuse.
Yeah, really, you know. Anyway, so he said I had to get up there and see him. I had to take a treadmill test, an EKG, and some other things. There were 4 things he wanted me to take. And I was just, I got sent out. I'm a truck driver. I got sent out to Phoenix. I didn't think anything of it. I took the load out to Phoenix. I called up my doctor, my heart doctor, and said, hey, I need a refill. I told him I wasn't going to refill it, and he didn't. He honestly thought I was up in Seattle. I chose not to sue this guy, by the way. And so, bottom line is this. I ran out of it. 2.5 days later, my heart was flopping around in my chest like a fish. I had a heart attack and then a massive stroke.
Oh, my God.
And I had 3 lawyers all tell me that I could sue them. And I just was like, I get this thing, I call it the cranking of the living life force because it spins like this and sometimes explodes out. And when it starts spinning like this, I know I'm supposed to go over there in this direction or that direction. That's how I live my life now. But it wasn't spinning. And I just realized laying in that hospital bed that I am not going to get caught up in all this stuff surrounding suing somebody. I choose not to get into that kind of energy and that environment and all of that. Lawyers wanting a third of the lawsuit and all that. Because I didn't do it. That was my choice and my decision. And yeah, so I had a heart attack and a stroke, and that's how I had it, being a raw fooder. I've been very upfront with everybody. I told everybody in my videos. I've gotten off of all but one prescription medication.
What a blessing in disguise it turned out to be.
Yeah, really.
Because now look what a witness you are to this whole...
Yeah, but I'm kind of done being the poster child for the raw food movement, On the other hand, I get to sit next to a beautiful goddess like this.
And teach us stuff.
Good. Yeah, we can teach us stuff, too.
What I'd really love for him to do, and he's agreed to.
Oh, yes.
So excited.
Here in Eugene, Oregon, people.
Hopefully we'll be the first.
Yeah, I'll make sure you're the first.
For a wild grass class.
Yeah, I'm going to teach everybody how to go out, pick wild grass. We're going to
And then we're going to take a field trip.
Yeah,
and
actually
have
go do it.
Yes.
Yeah, and then we're going to bring out another juicer too. And we're gonna bring some I'm gonna teach people how to make a low glycemic for diabetics juices, and cucumbers cut the bitterness of dark green leafy vegetables.
Yes.
And so what we're gonna do is we're gonna have some shots of wild grass, straight wild grass, because it is amazing if you pick it under shade. I actually flew down to Ecuador. David Wolf, I'm sitting at Alox, with him, and he goes, "Dude, man, have you heard about the Peter Kaiser, the wheatgrass messiah? This guy's been juicing wildgrass for 20 years. I stopped him. I tried. I was like, oh, what? Yeah, so I flew down to Ecuador to meet this guy, and he agreed if I would talk at the Raw Food World Conference, which I wasn't doing back then. So I told Teresa, well, you go to the Raw Food World Conference. I'm going to go for 2 days, hang out with this dude, and watch what he's doing with picking the wildgrass, because I've been juicing for months. And actually years at that point. I met David Wolf in my second year. Yeah. And so, as a matter of fact, when I met David Wolf, I was on day 65 or something. I was with Maria Bierbauer, and she introduced me to David Wolf at Alox, and I was on like day 65 or something of a juice feast. I've now done 3 90-day juice feasts, a 4-month juice feast, and 1 5-month juice feast. And I have done so many juice feasts in between, I just don't even count. But probably in the first 2 years, I went raw. I'm guesstimating I juiced only just juice and ate raw food in between, but I juiced about 80% of the time. I actually lived on juice. It can be done. But you need to know a few nuances and secrets to it. Like, if you're going to do that, you want to do a juice feast and not a juice fast.
Which is drinking a gallon a day. Or up to a gallon a day.
Yeah, about that.
Feasting.
Yes, it is. And you're feasting the phytonutrients, antioxidants, beta-carotenes, everything that is in what I call the living life force of plants. I would even juice aloe vera, which she has some beautiful aloe vera plants right here. Very bitter if you're going to...
Too many, so by all means.
Cool, we will, but they're bitter. So when you juice aloe vera...
I put some in a smoothie, ruined it.
Yeah. Actually, I juice them very little, and then I put a lot of cucumber in it, because a lot of people don't realize this, but cucumber, again, cuts down the bitterness of dark green leafy vegetables.
Or aloe vera.
Aloe vera by about 50%. It does help. You mix aloe vera. I tried it with everything. For some reason, the tastes collide with coconut water, which usually helps with everything for me. But, man, let me tell you, those two you do not want to mix, in my humble opinion. Yeah, right on. God, I just can't believe I'm sitting here with you. This is so great.
I can't believe you're sitting here with me either.
Yeah, and it took a friggin' snowstorm for me to stop and say, hey, how come I'm not hanging out with this beautiful goddess more?
He actually passed me.
I did. I was up the road about 10, 15 miles from where she lives.
And then, fortunately, he almost got killed 3 times.
Yeah, not fortunately, but yeah.
Well, that's what it took for him to turn around.
That is true. But it's
I'm
actually,
so thankful.
Yeah.
However it happened.
Yeah, I chained up my little car, got on the road, because I know what I'm doing as a truck driver. I taught people how to drive in snow and big rigs and stuff like that, but I got it. So I went to the store with you and drove through all the ice and snow.
He took me, thank God, I was out of lemons. Out on day 4.
Yeah. And I'm thriving on this, man. This is like a sugary lemonade to me. It's really cool. I'm probably going to soak up some more of your lemons, and we're going to go get some more before I leave, because I want some lemonade too.
Good.
Man, this she showed you that drink too, man. That is just so full of all this stuff.
Oh
man.
my
It's
God!
great.
I even put walnuts in it.
She did. That's
some
what
walnuts
we're missing.
and hemp seeds.
Hemp seeds, yes. Lots of hemp seeds, absolutely.
About a half a cup, I think.
Yeah. It's good stuff.
And walnuts are good for the brain.
They are.
Yes.
It'll help me up here somewhere. Glial cells. I want to talk a little bit about glial cells. A friend of mine, Ronnie Landis, he actually made a chocolate bar. It's called the Genius Bar. But he actually put the ingredients in it to help activate the glial cells in the brain. Now, for those of you that don't know what glial cells are, right? Really, seriously, this is what I study. It turns me on, right? All this stuff.
I love it.
I'm going to share with you guys about telomeres a little bit later. But anyway, so the glial cells, when Einstein died, they dissected his brain. He had the brain at 78 or whenever he died. He had the brain of a 22-year-old. I mean, it was really. But what was amazing was the sheer amount of glial cells. He had thousands of times more glial cells in his brain than any other human being. They're looking for it, and they're not finding it in anybody else. But glial cells are like a connector, kind of like a little gluey thing. And what they do is they are what is in the center of these sparks that bioelectrically move through our brain and shoot off these little things in our brain so that we think right. And so Ronnie Landis created this coolest thing. It's a chocolate bar, and it's actually designed to create genius. It's actually designed to create and actually activate different aspects of the brain, the glial cells and some other things. What was really amazing when I was kicking back with the guy at Giuliano's the other day down in L.A. was, "Oh, you caught that, Dave." I go, "Of course I caught that." It turns out we both studied the same thing, right? So if you don't know about Ronnie Landis, that's Landis, you got to just go check him out on Facebook, because this guy, he will overshadow anything I'm doing. I told him this a couple years ago, but he really will. And he will. Oh yeah, absolutely. He will be the next David Wolfe and beyond.
Oh wow.
30 years from now, he will be a household name. That guy is just rocking it out, and he knows what he's supposed to do in life, and he is moving toward it with a passion.
Beautiful.
Yeah, it really is. The guy's incredible. So. Anyway, a little plug for my friend Ronnie.
What's his specialty?
Just about everything. The guy blows me away. He does this talk on the history of cacao and the sacredness of it and all this stuff, man. It is so incredible. I mean, I could just get lost in what this guy talks about for hours, literally.
Okay, glial cells.
Glial cells, yeah.
And so he came out with a chocolate
chocolate bar that also has ingredients that should help activate the glial cells and several other aspects of what's going on in the brain.
Interesting.
It's really, I'm really proud of him, because it's like he hooked up with Sacred Steve at Sacred Chalks. Oh, he does mega talks.
Okay.
Yeah. He was speaking down at the Ron Living Expo.
Oh, good. Yeah. So we might be able to Google Ronnie Landis.
Yeah.
And
RONNIE and then LANDIS.
Good.
Yeah, he's also got a blog talk radio show. He's got all kinds of stuff.
Yeah. I wonder how it is. I don't know him, but now I will.
I don't know, but now you do.
Yes.
Yeah. So.
All right, guys.
Oh, are we going to say goodbye?
Well, we don't have to.
Yeah, we don't have to. Let's chat a little while longer.
Yeah.
So share with me, Kimmy, a little bit about, you're on this 4-day. Have you been feeling weak or anything on day 4?
Not really.
Lightheaded?
No.
Dizzy?
No.
Loss of energy? Be honest, it's all good.
Well, I'm just trying to think of how to put it. I was feeling a little kind of almost...
Okay, we're not going to have that.
Almost... a little anxious earlier when at 3:17 I still hadn't eaten anything, and by then you'd really need to have drank 2 jars or at least be on your. But I didn't have any lemons, so.
So that's why we went to the store.
But every day I'm just thrilled because I haven't had any self-control in the last couple of years. Well, actually, I did do a master cleanse last year for 10 days. But boy, I think I screwed up every day for 3 days to get started.
Cayenne pepper gets hotter and hotter the longer it sits in this thing. The longer it sits in this thing, it gets hotter and hotter, man. Yeah.
Thank you for that.
Yeah. Lou Corona, man, the dude thrives on cayenne pepper, man.
I love him.
I do too.
Oh my god.
Oh my god. I was at Alok's again. Fantastic restaurant.
I've got to. We're going to go on a tour.
We are. We're going to go down to Southern California. After we go to Thailand, we're going to go to Southern California for 3 days and party it out. All these raw food restaurants. Yes, it will. Yes, it will. Yeah. Anyway, I'm like, wow, I wonder if we're going to see Lou. And sure enough, Lou shows up, right? And so I hung out with Lou. He was doing a talk. If you don't know Lou Corona,
check him out.
Tell him, please.
Definitely.
How do we spell Lou Corona? L-O-U.
L-O-U-C-R-O. Uh-oh. Or O.
C-O-R.
N-A.
O-N-A.
O-N-A.
Corona. Yeah,
yes.
Lou Corona. Yeah, you need to check this guy out. The guy is off the charts.
Yes.
Anyway, so afterwards we went and we were having dinner, and then one by one people were leaving because everybody crowds around the table and Lou's around. Everybody just really, and rightly so, tries to hang out with this guy. So one by one, everybody's going home. Everybody's going home, and then Mai, the owner of Alok's, comes up, and she's going, "All right, how much longer are you guys going to be here?" And we were like, "Well, we're going to be here for a while." She's going, "We'll just lock up after you leave."
Oh, how nice!
So yeah. So Lou locked up after we left.
That's
and,
what kind of people these guys are.
Hey, it was so cool because what happened was Lou and I are at this table. And I think Mai left around 10 p.m. and all of a sudden it was like that. And it's like, oh my God, it's 4 o'clock. We think we better go because we both have to get some sleep.
4 in the morning.
4 in the morning, and Lou and I could not stop talking. And I cannot get enough of Lou Corona. I soaked the guy up like I would soak up Gabriel Cousins or David Wolf or you. Other people, man. It's phenomenal. It's incredible. It really, truly is.
My God.
And I just feel so blessed because when I'm around these guys, it's like a near mystical experience, man. It really is. So any chance you get somebody else, tip him. Look up this Lou Corona dude.
Definitely.
And if you're in Southern California, he is right now giving talks every Tuesday for free. You need to go to Alok's. At Alok's, yeah. Yeah, A-U, capital A-U, and then capital L-A-C. Alok. It's a vegan restaurant, and they also serve raw organic vegan food. And on top of that, Lou is speaking there every Tuesday night for free.
Yeah, he is something else.
Oh, my gosh.
And he is going to start coming out with things.
He already is coming out with some major stuff. I got to talk to him. Nothing I'm going to talk about because it's a private conversation. But, man, you know how it is when you just get lost in a conversation with somebody you talk for hours and all of a sudden it's 4 in the morning. You're just like going, oh, my God. Yeah. Incredible. It's
wonderful.
Incredible. It really is. It really is. So I'm going to talk a little bit about another guy. No, I've told you about Beyonder, but you haven't met him yet, have you?
No.
So there's this dude Beyonder, good friend of mine. I actually consider him a very, very good friend of mine. He just beautiful bride, just had a little baby, him and his beautiful bride. And so this little dude, he's like, comes up to me in San Francisco, David Wolf talk. He's like, hey, will you introduce me to David Wolf? I'm like, well, just go talk to him. He goes, really? And he points over to David Wolf, and I see it. David Wolf's surrounded by like 50 or 60 people. Oh, yeah, I get it, So I go, well, I didn't know. I mean, I'd never met this guy. So I'm like, well, what do you want to talk to Dave about? And he's like, well, I just want to show him something. I'm like, okay, are you open to showing me? I mean, I just didn't want to be like, hey, Dave, there's this guy that wants to meet you, and then he's going to propose some kind of business proposal to David Wolf, and he gets 100 of those friggin' things,
Yeah.
So Beyonder goes, yeah, here's what I do. And he takes his finger like this, and there's this dock plate. We're on this place where it used to be an old military base, and there was a concrete thing that came out where the trucks would come up to, and there's they put like on the corner of the concrete, this steel plate, and it went over the edge of the concrete. he shot a bolt of electricity. I'm not kidding you, a bolt. It was like a little lightning bolt from his finger, about, I would say, a foot away, and he just walked down the dock plate and just shot it, and it was just sparking off the corner of this dock plate. I was just like, oh my God, who is this guy? What's going on, right? So I go, yeah, let me go get avocado. So I go, I kind of interrupt David a little bit. I'm like, hey, y'all can come out and check this out, but Dave, there's something you got to see. So David Wolf's like, all right, let's go check it out. So we get over there, and Beyonder gives us these raw cacao beans, right? And we're holding them in our hands, and he shoots the bolt of electricity into David Wolf's raw cacao bean. Then he shoots a bolt of electricity in my cacao beans. And then he says, okay, now eat them. And Avocado's just looking at me like, what, you know, he was like, what are you doing? You know, like, really? And so I just looked at him and I popped it in my mouth. And so David popped his in his mouth. And we were like buzzing until 5 in the morning. Avocado and I, was like, this is electricity going through our body, man. We were just, wow, this is like really amazing stuff, you know? So then Avocado takes me over to where he's crashing for the night in Marin County at Jaw Levi's house. That was a whole experience in itself, and Trace is hanging out with me, so Tracy Young and I at Jaw Levi's house. I literally hugged this guy, Jaw Levi, and it's like, it went right through me.
Oh my God.
This is a vibrational hug. I was, when Tracy got done, I was like, seriously, Tracy, what happened when you hugged that guy? She goes, I don't know, like, went through me. And I was just like, yeah, exactly. I didn't want to say it because it was like, you know.
And then you guys were up for the next month?
No, we were up until 5 a.m. though, man. We were just talking about all this stuff, and oh my gosh, man. For me, again, hanging out with people like David Wolf, when you get away from the crowd, it's just like a near mystical experience. Any chance you guys get, you got to get around people like Luke Corona and David Wolf and others.
And this
Beyonder, you know.
Beyonder.
And so anyway, but yeah, it was just really weird. And then I forget how Avocado said it, but it was something about, you know, I was kind of surprised you popped that in your mouth. I was like, really? He goes, well, yeah, you know, energy from other people.
Oh.
And I was like, I looked at Trace and she goes, we haven't gotten to that part yet, Dave. You know, it's like I'm learning about all this stuff about energy, and apparently you're supposed to be careful with some energies from people or something.
Yeah.
But it was all supposed to happen. It was all cool. It was just a lot of fun, and it's amazing stuff. I saw Beyonder at Longevity Now, and he had a surprise for David and I, so I got David. You know, David Wolf, he's always got like 30 beautiful women hanging out with him. He's got 50 people packing around him. I'm like, hey, Dave, man, you guys want to come over? Beyonder's going to do something, and he says it's really amazing. And you just know when Beyonder says that, you want to go check it out, right? Mm-hmm. I'm not kidding you, man. There was like 50 people out there, and I still lost people on Facebook because someone said, you're full of crap. But this really happened. Beyonder never touched the bush, and he starts talking to it, telling him he's not going to hurt it. Then the bush starts glowing. The colors of like the sunset. They're like red and orange and yellow. And you can actually see the veins in the leaves.
Good night.
It was incredible. Then he moved this way and the bush moved. Then he moved the other way and the bush moved. It was like, holy smokes, you know. I was just like, me and Dave, Wolf, we were just looking at each other like, oh my God, you know, this is incredible.
Wow.
And yeah, it was just really an amazing, amazing thing. I have seen Beyonder do so many things now that it's just literally, utterly amazing. So if you ever get a chance, that's Byonder on Facebook. I'm plugging all these people. I'm not making a penny on this. I'm just saying, look up. If you haven't heard of David Wolf, check him out, man. First book I ever read.
Yeah, he was one of my
Some Food Success
first.
Diet book. Yeah, yeah. Some Food Success.
In
Some
fact,
Food Diet Success System. Yeah, however you say it. I get all mixed up, but go ahead. What did you say?
Oh, I've seen him since we were together last.
Oh,
actually,
yeah.
in Hawaii at the Raw Chocolate Festival.
Really? You went to that?
Yeah.
Right on.
Or it was a ceremony. I went to a 2-week permaculture class there.
Oh, yeah. At his place.
No.
No?
At another place. I wish it was his
He does
place.
those permacultures on his noni land.
Oh, man. I would have loved to have gone there. I think I would have rather done that had I known.
Yeah.
But But anyway,
cool.
so I got to Hawaii and
okay, this is cayenne pepper and it's hot.
It's getting hotter.
And getting hotter. So David Wolf was at this raw cacao ceremony in Hawaii.
So
Ronnie Landis was telling me, I missed it, but he was in L.A. hooked up with David Wolf, and David did this raw cacao ceremony there, and Ronnie told me it was just off the hook, man, just off the hook, yeah.
Huh.
And he proceeded over it. It was, wow, I can't wait to catch one of those, you know.
Well, maybe you'll be lucky enough to get more cacao.
Oh, yeah.
I thought it was kind of...
oh, okay.
There's a lot of people.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
But I did take that big, beautiful bowl of cacao beans. I mean, I'm not dissing him.
Right on.
Because he did bring a huge bowl of cacao beans, and I passed it around.
Cool.
And I ate tons of them.
Yeah, right on. No,
and then I finally got energetic,
Wolf,
and he said, "It's about time."
Yeah, right on. David Wolf, the dude has a heart of gold. He really, truly does. I know he's a controversial person.
I wish I would have actually talked to him more.
Thing, but yeah, no, man.
I mean, I had the chance.
He's a really, really good guy.
On the nude beach.
Oh, wow. Cool. I really wish I could have been there. Yeah.
We weren't nude, though. David or I was not nude. But we
I don't need to see David nude. Actually, I've already seen him nude, but it's all good.
To me.
Yeah. Yeah.
There was a guy doing yoga in the nude. I was so impressed with him.
Really?
I was thinking I'd like to be his videographer for YouTube. He could be a star.
Wow. Right on. Right on. Well, you know, when I met Dan McDonald, he goes, "You got to come over to my place." He was at a nudist colony, him and Krista.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Yeah. And so I go in there and I'm like, I'm not getting nude. It's just not happening.
You're like that too.
Right?
Yeah.
And so I was at his trailer, and well, he's obviously keeping the new guys off the camera, right? But there's this guy.
Oh, wow.
And he is just out there strutting his stuff. And he's hanging about, I don't know, 9, 10 inches. And it's just like I'm sitting here going, "You dog, you, man." Yeah. Oh, shit. Yeah. Okay, so we're getting a little...
We can edit some off the back, unfortunately. It goes down when I start talking.
And so, wow, we've been chatting for 42 minutes.
Yeah.
With Kim Willard here.
And Dave, the raw food trucker.
Over here.
Yeah.
Right on. This is just me living life, and this is just her living life.
Yeah.
And I'm so honored again to really snowstorm, get stuck, hanging out with the goddess. She's making me all these raw goodies, man, and I'm just like sitting there and go, "Oh, it's true, man. It really is true." Yeah, absolutely. Look at the woman. Tell me she's not a goddess. Every guy out there will tell you you are. Thank you. Thank you. Well, I think we are going to say goodbye. It's been fun chatting.
Bye, guys.
Blessings.
And we'll see you again. All right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Peace be with you.
Yeah. Love.
Love.
Love.